Hi, everybody.
Hello there.
Jerry.
Linda and Gizmo.
We're the Village's Newcomers.
Send us your questions, we've got your answers. Jerry and Linda's Mailbag Monday.
That's right, it's time for Mailbag Monday. Before we get started with questions, though, I want to bring up a couple of topics for you. I had a bad experience 2 days ago.
Right.
See these things right here? Hot tamales.
Oh.
I bit down on one of these little suckers. They're chewy. And when I opened my mouth, I had this beautiful crown stuck to this thing.
Attached. Oh.
When I flipped it over, it had a nice little chunk of my tooth in it, so they couldn't put the crown back on. They had to go in and pack it down, and 4 hours it took. 4 hours.
It did. I thought he was never coming home.
I've had root canals. I've had tooth extractions, but I've never had 4 more unpleasant hours at the dentist than I did for repacking this tooth, building it up, and then putting that crown on. But the most painful part was giving them $1,225 at the end. This little piece of candy cost $1,225.
Oh, gee. We won't buy that again.
No. And it's a shame because I love candies like that. And I love these Red Hots. Swearing them off.
No more chewing.
Swearing them off. Before we do our questions, we always like to have our... And today, I want to particularly thank Peter Boggy, B-O-G-G-I. I'm sure I didn't say that right, Peter. Let me know what the right pronunciation is. Sent me a box of Pro V1s with the monogram of the greatest football team on the planet, unless you count Alabama and some others. And we also got from Art Smith a beautiful license plate. This is going to go on Linda's cart. She'll be cruising around the villages.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sad to say that on Thursday, February 6th, we got a Christmas card. The mail here. I mean, I'm not cracking on the letter carriers or anything like that, but something's wrong somewhere because
Yes.
we got this beautiful little doggy Christmas card. You can see that looks like Gizmo looking out from under that Santa hat.
Yes. Oh, it's a lovely card. It's one of those that's thick and it's a lovely card.
Yeah, it's a really nice. So thank you guys for those very thoughtful gifts. We appreciate them very much. Our first question is from Christy. Christy writes, my question is this. Is everything open in the villages? Like the shops, the restaurant, the town square, the entertainment? In Scotland, we are under lockdown.
Yes.
Don't you like hearing from people?
I do. I can't believe we're hearing
In other
from
countries?
people all over the world.
The UK, we love the UK. We've been there several times. We want to go back if things ever settle down.
If they'll let us back.
Yeah, if they'll let us back in there. And Scotland and Australia, but we get them from everywhere. And it's so fun to read these letters. But Christy, we'll start one at a time. How about the shops? She knows more about the shops.
Oh, the shops are open, yes. You do have to wear your masks, and they're open, well, today on Sunday, I think they open at noon. But, yeah, they're all open.
She said Sunday, forgetting that today's Monday.
Sorry
right?
for filming.
Yeah, today is Monday in TV land. How about the restaurants?
All are open.
Restaurants are open here. We prefer to go outside seating. We won't eat inside if we can help it. And if we do go inside, we're very sensitive about where we sit. But outside dining is open and inside with social distancing.
Right.
The town square entertainment.
It's open, and they're every night. We got music.
We've been a few times lately, but it's down there every single night if you want it. Thank you, Christy, for the question. We appreciate it.
Ken writes, have you heard any pros and cons about On Top of the World in Ocala?
That's a timely question for us.
It is, because we just visited.
We just visited there. We have a neighbor that's moving up there, selling their house right here in our neighborhood and moving to On Top of the World. We've heard some really good things about it. We've heard primarily that you can get more house for the money there.
Right, and maybe bigger yards.
Maybe. the homes look very similar in the new developments. And in the older developments, similar to the older developments here, I guess.
Maybe.
But in the newer ones, the homes look very similar. A nice ranch type of home, block and stucco with golf cart garages. They look similar. The lots look similar to me. Maybe just like she said, maybe a tiny bit bigger. So it's very nice, and you're going to get a bigger house for the money. But it wasn't for us. There were some things that stood out about it that didn't fit us. It may fit you perfectly. But for us, there's not one lake or body of water on top of the world.
Which means probably we won't see birds.
Right. We love the pelicans. We love the cormorants, the anhingas. We like all the ducks. We like the herons. We like the egrets.
And we occasionally like to see the alligator.
And the
Just to
alligators.
see.
It's just nice to know. And the turtles.
Yeah.
But they have retention ponds, but they're all dry and they all have grass that we saw. And I did ask that question, and she said they don't like standing water on top of the world because of the mosquitoes and because standing water tends to be a place where sinkholes occur. And for us, it looked a little odd not to have any of that wildlife there. Okay, what else? We also heard that the golf is not free there. Now here, the championship courses are not free either. You have to pay as you go.
Right.
So it's probably cost dollars-wise wouldn't be that much difference if you're an avid golfer between here and there, but you have many more courses to choose from here. But the big kicker for me, since we already have 2 beautiful golf carts, if we moved there, we could not use those on the golf courses because they only allow electric carts, and that wouldn't work at all for us.
There was one pro I want to say.
Okay.
They do have, it's an actual true gated community. You're pretty locked in there. It was hard for us to get in. We had to get a realtor to take us around and guide us through. So
we did an actual tour.
yes.
We tried to go in without the tour and just went up and told them we just wanted to look around. No. So if you value security like that, that's going to be an improvement.
Very secure.
On top of the world. Other things, the location seemed a little bit remote to me, but maybe we're remote too. I don't know, but overall, we opened our 101st recreation center the other day.
That's right, we did.
101 recreation centers. There weren't that many up there. She showed us a building. It was a row of buildings put together. She said these are the meeting rooms. So for their community, there were very limited meeting rooms compared to the villages. But it may just be what you want. It's a smaller community, probably 6 times less people than the villages.
Right, and they did have they did have a covered pool for those extreme heat days or cold days. You could go swimming with a covered pool.
Yes, I don't remember how many pools she said there were, but there aren't very many, 2 or 3,
Maybe.
3 or 4, I don't know. So anyway, don't take any of these numbers verbatim for us because we're just telling you from memory. It's pretty close. And you'll notice that the homes up there are allowed swimming pools if you have room, but we didn't see very many, did we?
I didn't see maybe one.
Yeah, but we spent an hour in the entire development. It would take much more than that to see it. But those are the comparisons for us between On Top of the World and the villages. We preferred the villages. You may prefer On Top of the World. Eric writes, do many people rent houses in the villages? The answer is yes. There are lots of rentals here. But if you want the official word on how many or how long you can rent, call the villages. That's what we do when we get these questions. I will try to call the information center. Sometimes I can get an answer, sometimes I can't. But people do rent houses, especially the seasonal residents who are gone from, say, May 1st until December 1st or January 1st. They'll try to rent that house out for the time that they're gone. And some people buy early. They buy perhaps before they're 55 and try to rent the homes out until they turn 55. Can you rent it a week or 2 weeks or a month? You'll have to ask somebody else. There is hometown property management here, or you could call the village's sales center. Maybe they could refer you to somebody. But the answer, yes, you can rent places. Eric also wants to know, Does it make sense to buy now and rent out a home for 5 to 10 years until I retire? Plenty of people do that.
I do.
We have a good friend lives in Minnesota that bought the house because if you buy now, especially if you want a new house, you can get your home closer to the north, closer to Brownwood, closer to Sumter Landing. The longer you wait, maybe the farther the construction moves. So buying it now is an option for anybody. The villages will have the final say depending on your age. You'll have to ask them. We are a 55-plus community, and there are strict guidelines of what the villages has to do to maintain that 55-plus rating. So just check with them because we couldn't give you a definite answer.
Jill loves arts and crafts, and she asked us if there's a central location for in the villages for arts or a central place for woodworking. There definitely is for woodworking. There are 2 locations. One's being built and about ready to open in March, I believe, and the other one is up near the Spanish Springs area, the original one. But now for arts and crafts, we have so many rec centers that offer the classes, so you can get arts and crafts in just about every rec center, but I don't know if there's a central location for specific arts and crafts.
And some people want to know, are those free? Usually the art classes are not free. You'll have to pay a small fee because you may be using clay and making pottery, or you might be using paints or canvas or whatever. But a lot of them are free, not all. Michelle. The Beatles wrote a song about Michelle. How many gas stations are there in the villages to fill your golf carts, and where are they? There are lots of places to get gas in the villages. There are 3 above 44, and one at Brownwood, one at Sumter Landing, one in Spanish Springs, that are affiliated with the villages that sell the non-ethanol gas that they recommend that you put in your golf carts. You don't have to do that, but they recommend, and I don't know why. I've heard it's for the seals and for gas that sits a long time. It's more helpful to use this gas. It's a little pricier, but you can get that at the 3 town squares.
And there's one opening in the south.
And there is a place down south now. It's been at, I believe, at Gray Fox, Red Fox Golf Course.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it may be moving to Magnolia Plaza.
It is.
I'm not positive about that. But yeah, you can get gas here. Plus any gas station. There are lots of gas stations that are accessible by golf cart, and you can get gas. It may not be the kind that is recommended, but it will work in your golf cart.
Right.
Michelle also wants to know, is there a place to rent golf clubs for visitors and guests? Michelle, yes, there is. Every country club will rent you clubs. They are expensive. We have a son. He decided he was left-handed when he was born.
My fault.
And we probably had 4 or 5 sets of right-handed clubs, but we have to get him clubs. Well, he's in the military, so when he's stationed elsewhere, he takes his clubs with him. When he comes back here to visit, no left-handed clubs. So he's rented clubs. They're $12.50 for 9 holes, $25 for an 18-hole round. That adds up pretty quick, especially if you're here for a week or 2. What we've done in the past is throw out a message on Nextdoor.
All right.
And we'll say, we have a son in town. And even for him who's left-handed, we were able to find several people that said, hey, come get mine and use them.
For the weekend.
No charge.
Yeah.
Keep them a week.
It's great.
When she started playing golf, I really didn't think it was going to take. She wasn't very excited about it.
No.
So I threw out an ask on Nextdoor, and a wonderful lady said, I have a set, take them and keep them. I don't play golf anymore, and use them, and if you decide to buy a set, bring them back. And she did that, and she enjoyed golf. We bought her a set. We took them back, so it's nice. So yes, you can rent them, but I think you could probably find some if you have any contacts down here.
Brian asked about Doggy Duty. What do I do with Gizmo? Well, if early in the morning or late at night, I'm always with Gizmo. I don't let him out by himself. I'm right with him just in case there is that coyote that people have warned us about, which we have never seen. But I take him on a leash at 7 in the morning and take him in the front yard. Or if I'm fully dressed, I will take him all the way around the block.
If she's naked, she only takes him halfway around the block.
I occasionally go out in my nightgown late at night. But Gizmo and I just go together, and he knows. I say, let's go outside, and he knows. But I take him outside, and you take care of business.
Well, once in a while we'll have a dog run into our yard, no leash. We don't know whose dog it is. We don't know how far it came from. So that presents a problem. So it's good to keep all dogs on a leash.
Mm-hmm.
Your neighbors will resent you if you don't, because that dog can run around the house for 10 seconds and
Yes.
deposit a
Yes.
load in your neighbor's yard.
Yeah.
And not the Gizmo, though.
No, I have let him outside the lanai at night, and I'm right there at the window, and he'll go right out and do it and come right back in. So I'll be right with him. I'm always eye contact with him. So
Brian, I am with you, though. Who wants to put a leash on the dog in the rain and take him outside and
Yeah.
get wet?
yeah,
Luckily, Linda enjoys that. Chris and Susie ask, we're still surprised by the fact that you bought your home sight unseen. We'd love to hear more about the process. Well, that could be a whole show in itself, and we've talked about it multiple times.
Yeah.
Hey, the wind's blowing out here, isn't it?
my hair's going nuts.
But the basic fact is we came here for a lifestyle visit. We loved the homes. They're very similar. When you're in an area like the Brownwood area, or you're in Spanish Springs, or even now down south, the homes are not all that different in a designer home. So we like them. They're new, they're fresh, they're bright. They appear to be well constructed. We had a list of 15 homes.
Mm-hmm.
We toured. We liked them. We didn't pull the trigger, though.
No.
We didn't. Because when you find a pre-owned home, you have to buy it or you'll lose it.
Yes.
We went home within 2 weeks, all those homes were sold.
They were.
So we kept looking on the Villages app, and we looked at homes for sale, and we narrowed down the filter until we were looking for pre-owned homes, and we found this home that we live in now. And we liked everything about it that we could see, but these guys are deceptive with their photography sometimes. Every real estate listing, you can look at a lanai and it looks like, wow, you can play basketball in there.
Right.
But then when you get there, you say, whoa, this is kind of small. Or, the refrigerators look 6 feet wide. You get here and it's just a regular refrigerator. They've got a lens that makes things look a little bigger. So we had some friends come over. They weren't even an acquaintance yet. We just knew them by telephone.
Yes.
And they looked at it and talked to us and went through the house with us, and they were really impressed. And we had the realtor, who I trust. Again, our realtor that worked with us here is Steve and Barbara Lightbody.
They're
And
amazing.
They're very good. They came through here and talked with me and showed me a few things on the what is that?
The video,
Yeah.
Snapchat, I don't know what it is.
And we liked it, so we made an offer. Now, we put in that offer that we would like to have a week to come down and check this house out
Right.
before we spent that much money, because this was at least $65,000 more than we wanted to go.
Right. Oh,
And they rejected our request because they wanted to accept the price and everything, but not the week. They gave us 3 days. So we actually got on an airplane and flew down the next day, saw it. She loved it. She wanted it. So we bought it.
Yeah.
And we flew right back. So that's the way it all happened. And we're happy with our decision. It's risky, though. It is risky.
yeah.
Because we didn't investigate this area real well. There could have been train tracks.
Yeah, no.
There could have been a sinkhole around the corner.
True.
We could have had a guy that plays loud music next door. We got lucky.
Mm-hmm.
We love our house.
Yeah.
And, the more investigating you do, the better. But by long distance, we hear about it every single day.
We do. Susie asked me in particular, what are some things that I regret leaving back in Indiana or getting rid of? I know 2 things particular. I threw away all of my recipes. I had binders and binders and binders of recipes, which I didn't really need all of them, but inside those binders I had some that were written by my grandma, my mother, and aunts and friends that I adore, and I got rid of that, and I regret that. I also got rid of almost all of my winter clothes. I have some fall things here and winter, but man, it got cold this December, and I wished I had some more long sleeve stuff. So that's pretty much it that I regret.
Yeah, we brought our cowboy boots.
Well, yeah, we didn't need to bring those.
Won't those look great with our Bermuda shorts and our cowboy boots?
I do have some jeans that I could have left. I don't like to wear zippers anymore. But we thought we would go down to the square and wear our cowboy boots and our jeans and dance. Well, that's never going to happen.
For another show, I'll just throw it out there that I didn't bring some things that I really should have. Small things in a moving truck. You've got a little nook here, you can push them in. You got a cranny over here, push it in. And bring and decide later if you're undecided, because I left some things I wish I'd brought, like an arrowhead collection. You know, why didn't I bring that? I just gave it away. I mean, it was an arrowhead collection.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
When in doubt, bring it and get rid of it later. Mark wants to know if there is a list of all the clubs that are available here.
Yes, there are. But you would have to go online to get that through the villages.org or whatever that is, and then they'll list the clubs. But there are over 3,000 of them. And if you were to print that out, it would take 100 pages of your copy paper. And so I didn't want to do that. So if you think of something that you're interested in, then you can look it up and see if they have it. But every day in the newspaper, there is a list of club notes. And particularly on Sundays, I noticed today, there's a list about, today.
I'll read a couple real quick.
Yeah.
The Scrapbooking Croppers Fun Shop, the Mulberry Clay Group, Painters Guild, Village Birders, Gluten Free You and Me, and the Primetime Twirlers. Why don't you do that?
Oh, I should. I've never been a twirler.
Lots and lots of clubs
Yes.
available. We touch on this subject all the time, but
Yes.
you wouldn't believe how many until you check it out.
Yeah. There's something for everyone.
Patty writes that her husband is on oxygen and he's 100% disabled. Would he fit in down here? Patty, I don't see why not. I mean, I see people on a daily basis in the grocery store or
Right.
driving their car that have oxygen. You know, so that's not an uncommon thing here in an aging population.
True.
Would he be out of place? Would he feel included? That depends on him.
That's right.
No matter what his condition is, if he's able to get out and mingle, people will, I believe, will accept him and welcome him in.
There's probably a club.
Yeah, he can join the I'm on Oxygen Club.
That's not funny, but I mean, really,
funny.
you will find that people, if you put yourself out there, you will be able to join in anything.
It's never funny when someone has a handicap or a hardship, but sometimes those folks get through such things by having a sense of humor.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how Linda gets through life. She's got a great sense of humor. Patty also wants to know, are the swimming facilities open during COVID? Yes, they're open. All the pools are open.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to the pool. Some of them have restrictions on the number of people, but yep,
They're open.
bring your bathing suit, Patty. Daryl wants to know, do you need a driver's license to drive a golf cart on the cart paths around the villages? Well, as you wrote that question, Daryl, the answer would be no. You don't need a driver's license. But strictly cart paths, those are only on the golf courses.
Yes.
The other ones are called multimodal trails, and there are restrictions about the age limits for drivers. But do you need a license, or do you have to pass a course or take a test? No, you do not have to. Now, his other brother, Daryl, writes another question. I'm just kidding. It's from Daryl, but do you remember that show, Daryl and his other brother, Daryl? He wants to know, if an accident like a fender bender happens, does your homeowner's insurance cover it? Never take our advice, Daryl, on anything like this. We have golf cart insurance. We bought it, I believe it's from Progressive.
It is.
And we got bare bones coverage, even though we have nice carts. First of all, we hope we never have a cart accident. If we do have it, if you have liability insurance, you're most likely going to be fine. There's always deductibles, and we didn't carry full coverage on our golf carts. We just got liability only. I don't think our homeowners would have covered anything.
Probably not.
But ask your insurance professional. And here is our last question. Derek wants to know, does the Villages have RV storage? The short answer is yes. I don't know how many of them are owned by the Villages, if any. But we saw one on 466A yesterday.
Yes.
It's close here. It's probably a mile and a half, 2 miles from our house. And there are others scattered around. We're next to Wildwood, a small town that has plenty, Leesburg, Lady Lake, and there are others even further north than that in Bellevue and so forth. But yeah, there are places to store your RV. I don't know if they're actually in the Villages, but they're close by.
Mailbag Monday.
Thanks everybody for a great set of questions. Remember, you can write in and we will try our best to answer your questions. Write to villagesnewcomers@gmail.com and we will try to get back to you. We get an overwhelming amount of mail these days. Once in a while I will lose one in the shuffle or read it, and before I can get back to it, it's gone. But we'll try our best, and if it's an interesting question that will benefit a lot of people, we'll try to put it on Mailbag Monday for you. But thanks to all of you that write. Thanks for these wonderful presents we received in the mail this week. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Until next time.
See you when you get here.